Three, two, one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another season of the SECS. This is going to be season 18, week number 2. I am Maut. Here with me tonight is NYJohn. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm a little sick, and I believe we both are sick right now, actually, with our own different malignancies. So hopefully we'll get through this cast and we'll be able to survive somehow. But yeah, other than that, I've had a lot of good casts going on, and well, being sick's not fun, I guess. So there's that.
That's certainly true. I just started my regimen of antibiotics, so trying to get back into the flow for the holiday season, which is going to be very important outside of the Dota world, that is.
It absolutely is. It's gonna be it's always sort of a gauntlet when you think about it. When you think of the holidays, you just think, well, I got a lot of shit to do, and well, we got to stay healthy for that. Also, we're probably just gonna sound like two extremely hoarse guys this entire cast for SECS this weekend. So hopefully you guys can bear with us tonight. And we're already actually going to get into the game of V3, led by Akiri versus Baba +4. And the bands are already coming out. Magnus, the first band from V3, and Undying as well, and Bounty Hunter on the other side. And that's their first band for Baba +4, and they've got one more as well. So I gotta say, I was watching a ton of the CDL games yesterday, and I don't think there's a more annoying hero to me than Bounty Hunter. That hero is like I fucking hate that hero, man. I don't know why. I just do. I'm just not a fan of that hero.
Well, the first thing I realized when I was looking at the new patch notes is that he certainly was receiving a huge buff, whether it be inadvertent or not, when the patch came out, 6.75 that is, in gaining the rates on gold yields from kills as well as experience yields. And I was very curious to see that they didn't actually lower his ultimate and the rate that he gains from that, because it ended up just being a magnificent buff on an already good hero. So we'll see if they're going to ever try and temper with that a little bit and try and make it a little bit more balanced, because he just trading is so effective with that hero. It's nice to see him banned out for once.
It does really promote that aggressive gank style that people seem to love to play, whether you have an aggressive tri lane going in. It doesn't matter. You give him that off lane farm. And like you said, already a pretty good hero before this. I mean, he honestly, I don't think he needed as much of a buff as they were willing to give him. Regardless, though, he does get that buff, and it makes it really nice to play him, but he's going to get banned out. So, first few picks here, V3 will pick up the Bat Rider and the Keeper of Light and the Phantom Lancer, surprisingly enough. And then on the side of Bob +4, we've got the Jakiro and the Templar Assassin. What do you think about this Phantom Lancer pickup? A hero that we don't see too often despite buffs coming his way in 6.75.
A couple teams have picked him up more so as of late, so it's an interesting proposition. The problem is he really does require a lot of farm to get going. Early on, his nuke is pretty good, and the slow is pretty nice in the back end of it, and he does have some extra value in that with his illusions, it should be easy to take down something like Refraction, and late game certainly is a powerhouse. So it's interesting to see how they get him going. With Keeper of Light, he can put out a lot of damage in lane and try and stave off any aggression coming onto him while he's trying to farm. So hopefully it will work out in favor for V3, and they can try and show us a good effort on the back of the PL.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the key there, getting that farm on the Phantom Lancer. Something we see a lot, though, Keeper of the Light and Phantom Lancer lanes going out so very often, such a strong combination together. But then on the other side, you've got Sven, and oh my goodness, if there is a hero that has been played more in the recent months, I can't think of one. Sven is just so very strong in conjunction with pretty much any hero. I mean, he's got such a strong setup stun. Of course, the armor from the Warcry, the cleave to get that flash farm going, which I hate that term, by the way. I don't even know why I use that. And of course, God Strength as well. And a hero that probably in the late game, nobody really out carries him, honestly, except if you maybe think about a Faceless Void. I don't certainly think Phantom Lancer can do the job there. So already Baba +4, they got a lot of heroes that could do pretty well, on their own right. So, what do you think about the Sven pickup, and how do you think it's going to sort of affect the play of V3?
Honestly, I think a lot more counters are going to start making their way out against Sven, and one of the prime ones we've seen from teams recently has been the Omni Knight with that uh, Guardian Angel, excuse me, I forgot the name for a moment. There's also going to be other counters coming out, like Viper, for example, is really good against the Sven. Someone that could really slow him down, unable to get in there and get attacks out. So if teams can work these into these kind of niche situations where they get these heroes in the fifth or fourth slot just to counteract the Sven effectively, I think it could go a long ways. But we haven't seen many teams try and do so quite yet. We have seen teams like Dignitas try and integrate a Viper on the back end of AUI 2000, but it hasn't worked to great effectiveness. And we'll continue to see more teams try and find that real solution to getting Sven out of there. But it's crucial for Sven to be up close the entire time. And if you can impair his move speed throughout the duration of a fight, it's going to go in your way.
Absolutely, that's a good point. Bringing up the fact that he can be kited, you do need to get that slow going on him. Of course, even that Viper pickup could be useful in that scenario, like you were talking about. And that's what I love about Dota. Honestly, is the fact that there will be a flavor hero. There will be a hero that is picked up pretty consistently. How you deal with it though is really the indicator of if you're a good team or not. And like you were talking about, how Dignitas was trying to implement some of their own strategies into that. And as the games go along here in the next few months, especially in the next few big competitions, we're going to see a lot of sort of how do we plan for this hero, because I don't think it's going to be nerfed anytime soon. So they need to start thinking about, well, what do we have to do besides banning to get him and Magnus? What do we have to do against those two heroes specifically? So we'll have to see what they decide to pick up here with the last two pickups. Also, they already have a decent enough counter to it with Batrider. If you can get that last off on Sven and get him focused down early on in the fight, or just take him out of the fight in general, that could be a pretty big deal. Meanwhile, we're going to get some more bans here. It looks like for the bans from V3, we'll have Rubik and Windrunner, and then on the side of Bob +4, we will have Tide Hunter as well as that Queen of Pain ban. Looking at what every team has, or both teams have right now, we've got the Phantom Lancer and Keeper of Light, which will probably be in lane together. Batrider either going in the offlane or mid. I'd have to assume mid against the Templar Assassin. So they'll probably need an offlane or another support. Meanwhile, on the side of Baba, they got Jakiro, Templar Assassin, and Sven. And it looks like Jakiro and Sven will be together in Templar Assassin mid. So both teams kind of need an offlaner with a limited pool. And I'm not sure what they're going to go for. There's not too many left, honestly. Of course, with the Windrunner being banned out, I mean, they're banning out a lot of them. So what do you think they'll pick up if they decide to try to get an offlaner here?
Well, we already mentioned the resurgence of Omni Knight as of late. That could be an option for V3, and also Beastmaster's still in the pool, so that could be for either team. He fits well, of course, a really useful hero in general. And I'm interested to see what the final ban is going to be here, because both teams, like you mentioned, have similar needs. So there's been kind of a split decision on Baba +4. They've taken out the Tidehunter just from overall utility and team fight perspective. Queen of Pain as that solo laner, just in case Batrider wants to go in the off lane. So they're kind of going back and forth, just taking out key heroes, whereas not banning out a certain position. And we'll see what they take out with the fifth ban here. It should be, I mean, if they take out Beastmaster, it's going to be interesting to see what both teams try and do to try and manage that off lane.
Yeah, that'll be
Broodmother's
that's
still in the
slim
pool as well.
pickings. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's also true. That's another hero that we've seen a little bit, maybe a little bit less as of late, but still picked pretty often, and certainly annoying to deal with when you think about it. I just got to say, I love Beastmaster, and I hope they don't ban him out, and thank God they don't, because he's probably one of my favorite heroes, even though he's not played nearly as much as he used to be anymore. But that being said, Venomancer will be the final ban out, and two more picks for each side, and they've got, pretty slim pickings right now. We could see the Omni Knight like you were talking about. I'd be very surprised to see that. Such a frustrating hero to play against, obviously. There's still plenty to do, though, plenty of heroes to pick, plenty of supports available for that tri-lane for both teams. And we'll have to see what they go here. Plenty of reserve time left on the side of V3. They've got 127, not as much for the side of Baba +4. They've got 58. And so we're thinking about what they're going to do here. I do think they'll probably pick up that offlaner before it's a little too late. Supports are a little bit more. Obviously, you can grab whatever. There's plenty of supports in the pool currently, not as many in terms of offlaners. So we'll have to see what they will go. Once again, thanks for joining us. This is Neo Dota. We're bringing you SECS 18.2. That's the season 18, week number 2. I believe the point system is not in effect right now. It's sort of a trial week. We're not actually going to add points for the playoffs or just in general for this season yet. So sort of a trial run still for this week, and then next week we're going to actually start really keeping track of points. And hopefully soon, we were talking about how we actually might add a bigger prize pool. And okay, Axe is going to be the pickup from V3. This is a hero I saw 2 weeks ago. Is Sleazel running with the Axe in that mid. You were there with me, I think, on that one when they picked
Yep.
Axe and they put a mid. Yep. So
Yeah, and I've been playing a lot of Axe myself this week. He is a very strong mid laner, especially if you can get that matchup against the TA. It's not the easiest matchup because she does last hit more effectively than you do. She can deny as well. You need some timely procs on the spins as well as effective use of the Battle Hunger, but he can definitely man up against that. An interesting thing to note is an obvious ban because of the TA, but had they taken out Beastmaster, they're in a much better position to run an aggressive tri lane, whereas you cannot really do that with the Phantom Lancer, and they would have definitely slimmed down the options for that offlaner that would go against whoever they want to throw in the safe lane, and then open up their pool a little bit more for something potentially like a Nature's Prophet, or even something more aggressive. You could throw a Tinker in there. So it would have been interesting to see if that had happened, what they would have went with, but then Batrider can always be adjusted to that lane too. So it really is a interesting draft as it stands right now, the way things are going back and forth like this.
that's a really good point too, and I think that Batrider especially is one of the better ones to be put in that position. Almost certainly worth it to actually send just Axe mid and Batrider in that offlane, just because it's so hard to kill him with Firefly. You need to chain your stuns effectively, and even then, it's going to still be difficult to get that kill going. And We'll have to see where they do decide to send everybody. Of course, there's only actually 10 seconds of reserve time right now. Puck, wow, that's going to be the pickup for the side of Bob +4, and I can almost assure you that's going to be in the off lane. I'd have to imagine. An off lane Puck looks like it will be that choice, and that's going to be interesting. Something that we don't see too often, but a lot of fun to watch, honestly.
Well, this is a cute pick because Puck does work really well against Phantom Lancer and Keeper of the Light. Both nukes coming out from those heroes kind of have longer animations, so you have a lot of time to go ahead and use that time shift and or is that the name of it? Time shift,
Phase shift, I believe.
phase shift, and go ahead and try and dodge that than you would against a lot of other skills. So you can dodge those heavy nukes and probably sustain yourself pretty effectively in that lane. So I think it's a cute pick, and we'll see how it pans out when it gets into the thick of things. If Axis in the jungle comes out with Battle Hungers, Puck's not going to have a great time. Of course, the low strength pool, low health overall, Battle Hunger would chip away at him effectively, but we're not sure where Axis is actually going to land quite yet.
Yeah, we do have some time to see that. We have got one more pickup on each team. You make a really good point with that phase shift and avoiding those nukes, the Spirit Lance from the Phantom Lance, or obviously the Illuminate from the Keeper of the Light. Of course, being able to use that Illusory Orb to last hit effectively as well, that's going to be pretty important. Waiting Rift later on into the game will be very important against the heroes with the initiation of Keeper Light and, of course, Axe and things of that nature. So we'll have to see what happens. Not a lot of reserve time. It's pretty much the brink of the pick phase right now. Both teams getting down to the wire right now. 13 seconds left on the reserve time. They're taking as much time as possible. Thinking about this last pick, who they really want. It will be a Beastmaster, so it looks like a Beastmaster offlane. It looks like Axe will, I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like Batrider mid, Beastmaster offlane, and then Axe up in the jungle, maybe. I'm not sure what they're going to do with this. What are your thoughts on how they're going to try to lane this round?
Yeah, Axe is going to end up in the jungle, but this is going to put them in a poor position for that aggressive tri lane if that's what Baba wants to run. And they definitely should, seeing this lineup now. They throw Sven, Jakiro, and whoever the third pick will be out there, and they're going to have a good time against Phantom Lancer, keeping him away from that farm. Keeper of the Light will spam out the Illuminates and deal a little bit of damage, but they can effectively jump on a lot of those heroes. They can certainly dive without too much concern. Axe coming out of the jungle is nice, but he's not the best. And here's Lina, a very aggressive support pick to put on the back end of that. So if they want to run an aggressive tri lane, they're poised to do so. And Puck will be a lot better off in that short lane against Beastmaster. He can get his farm going well too there.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, Lena, another hero picked up so very frequently in combination with a Sven and whatever else you want to run with it, and Jakiro just adding to sort of that stun and that chaining of the stuns, and that'll be pretty important. So what it's looking like right now for the side of Baba, this is probably going to be, like you said, that Puck in that off lane, and we're going to see the Sven, probably aggressive tri lane, so not necessarily off lane, but Puck just solo right now. You see Sven, Lena, and then Jakiro heading up to the top lane for an aggressive tri lane, I'd imagine, of course, Templar Assassin. But while I'm talking about this, why don't we get into the introductions? On the side of Baba +4, we've got Big Gun on the Templar Assassin, actually heading bottom right now. Zephyr on the Puck, heading into the mid lane, so they're actually going to maybe switch that around. Will be on the Sven with a pretty cool helm. Cookie will be on the Lena. These names are weird. J2 will be on the Jakiro. So that's the side of Baba +4. And if you'd like to introduce V3, you can go right ahead and do so.
Sure. For V3, we have Akiri playing the Beastmaster. We have Acquiesce on Batrider, maybe PhD on Axe, Isfas on Keeper of the Light, and Nonsense on Phantom Lancer.
I think Acquiesce is right. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, nice.
Sometimes the colors throw off my reading ability.
Oh, me too, all the time. It happens to me. I'm just like, especially when they're moving, it's so difficult. I'm just like, what is that name? I can't see that. I just feel like an idiot. So don't feel like you're the only one.
And
So,
Axe looking pretty nifty with his gear too. So battle of the cosmetics.
that's true. That is true. I mean, I don't know, man. That helm on Sven looks pretty badass, and that sword too, the weighted cleave. I see that a lot, but still, he's got some nice gear going for him. But I was expecting to see this the Puck down here, but it looks like it'll actually be the Templar Assassin in the solo lane, and then Zephyr will head mid. So that's interesting. They decided to do it that way. Of course, it's fine to do it that way as well, as long as you get that Templar Assassin with the solo experience and the solo farm. Against this Beastmaster too, he should be okay. I don't know if this the Puck would be in a better situation against that Beastmaster. What do you think about that?
It's not really any kind of big deal. I mean, Puck can get out of trouble. Doesn't have to worry about taking up the extra sticky napalms by getting a base contact range in the middle lane. So it's probably a slightly better matchup the way they have it right now. A couple disconnects pop out, and they're going to have an instant pause and try and wait for them to reconnect as two players out at the same time.
3. Well, this is interesting. I guess both teams are just like, all right, well, hold on, let me restart my computer while we took so long for that pick ban phase. That's totally fine, though. That's fine. And yeah, I guess if you're talking about down here in the bottom lane, I think the difference, I guess, would be negligible either way. But this is going to be pretty important to see how this tri lane can work up into the top lane. So this aggressive tri lane with that Sven, of course, with the Jakiro and with the Lina rotating up right now. So we're going to see how this is going to work. If they can get a few kills early on, then they'll certainly be in a good position while getting Sven some farm as well. And it's going to be important to see. He's going for Stormhammer first. Obviously, I don't think he would go anything else. It would be weird. But lag issues
Yeah.
from both teams.
This tri lane's going to be very interesting. Like I said, I think it's favorable for the Radiant side. The one thing is that Lena hasn't made her full rotation up here yet, so they're going to have a little bit of time to try and set up prior to Lena getting any wards down. I expect to see one of the wards go behind the tower. One of these wards probably going to be dropped off by the rune spot, but they're not really scared of any kind of pulls because they can combat them very effectively, especially with the Ice Path leading, and then the Chain Stun that would ensue afterwards. So I really expect the Radiant to have a good time in this tri lane. We're going to have to see what they can make elsewhere on the map. That Rider versus Puck is going to get good CS, and Beastmaster will have an opportunity to try and get some CS against that Templar Assassin pretty effectively. We'll have to see if he goes for the Aura or for the Boar. I think I kind of like the Boar against the TA, though.
Does that board provide a dot when he hits, or is it just going to be just like, it's just consistent damage? There's no dot effect that he has on it. I think he has a slow on him, though. I don't really know what the board's abilities are like. If you can enlighten me.
It's just a slow. I think it would be, if any damage is negligible, it has to be a certain threshold to cut through it. I don't think it's enough if so.
Yeah, but getting that board, like you said, of course, just that consistent damage, just put him like target focusing on the Templar Assassin and then just back him off if she gets too close. We'll have to see though. And that's a good point talking about trying to deny the pull happening here from you know, the side of the Dire here. That'll be really important. It's going to really all be based on positioning against this Keeper of the Light with that Illuminate, of course. It's going to be very important. Right now already, Sven getting 3 last hits, lane pushing up a little bit. They might try to just push this tower quickly. We'll have to see. Of course, because Axe isn't here in this lane, they can maybe go for dives early on. They're going to back off currently, though, but they actually are getting the creeps. They did pull them with Lina through the lane, so they're going to take this back to the tower, and both teams are going to be able to get some last hits on their own for a minute. Meanwhile, Axe in the jungle already with 6 last hits. With counter helix, it's going to be really, really easy for him to do. He's got battle hunger already. He's going to try to max that out quickly, I'd have to imagine. Zephyr getting about 3 last hits here in the middle lane, and Acquiesce is going to do his best to spam those sticky napalm strikes up on him, and Zephyr going to try to avoid that, let those fall off, and try to stay safe as possible. So, in the meantime, until we get some early aggression, we'll have to see. 142 in the game. Thanks for joining us. Once again, this is NYJohn SECS, and this is the first matchup for week number 2. I'm Maut, and joining me as, well, second time for SECS casting is going to be NYJohn, so I appreciate you joining me. And a little bit of Illuminate harass going off, but not too much, and a Sentry Ward flying down here from the side of the Radiant, trying to make sure that there's no wards here in this this position. And now...
Yep,
When do you think Axe is going to start coming out and maybe harassing here and looking for kills?
You can't really come in and try and look for kills because there's not any disables on the part of their team, and usually Axe doesn't pick up the Battle Cry that early, or Berserker's Call, excuse me, and as such they really can't get anything going in terms of kills, but he can come out and throw down Battle Hungers. It should stave off some aggression. You really just want to keep the lane safe for the Phantom Lancer. But dropping down that early sentry is going to be really effective against him because PL, of course, doesn't get a movement speed bonus when he uses his Doppelwalk. He still maintains a low movement speed, and as such, you can try and catch him off like they just did there, but were unsuccessful in doing so.
And that was close. They scared. They realized that they were going to try something there as soon as they started moving up to the lane, and they immediately Doppelwalked away, got out of that sentry vision, and they'll be okay right now. But in the meantime, those Sven getting plenty of last hits, 14 in fact, and 17 going for the Templar Assassin. So right now, Baba looking pretty good early on in the game. However, there's still a long way to go. Of course, getting that X farmed up in the jungle, that'll go a long way to getting them some farm here. But Nonsense really needs to get some more CS. He's only got 3 last hits right now, and they're having some trouble already. And against this Sven, that's certainly not what you want. He's already got his boots.
And on the bottom lane, we do see he does pick up the boar, so Beastmaster will opt for that. And it should allow him to stave off Templar Assassin a little bit more, give him opportunities to pick up CS, but right now he is far behind.
Top
and that's
lane,
kind
there's
of
going to be a Stormhammer on PhD right now. Ice Path as well. Baba is going to try to get that kill there. There's going to be Battle Hunger and Electric Array, and that is first blood going for the side of Sven. Here comes the Spirit Lance as well, though. Baba taking a lot of damage. He's going to back off. He'll be okay. They'll salve right back up, and that'll be a nice kill for them now when they take that first blood, and that's already in a little bit of early aggression that is going their way.
Great first blood. It's all maybe because of having that ward behind the tower, and they're able to get back there, and the chain sludge is too much for them to handle right now. Like I said, there's no disables really for the Dire as it stands right now in this top lane.
That's definitely, yeah. I mean, that's going to be a problem for them. Obviously, you have the Keeper of the Light, you've got Nonsense, and that's nice harassment. But at the same time, against just the chain stuns that you've got with J2 and Ababa, I mean, it's going to be difficult. And PhD getting caught out of position there, not what you want. He's going to head back in the jungle, look for some more farm, and well, I don't know. V3, I guess they're going to have to take this in the late game, but even if this does go to late game, how are you going to counteract the Sven pickup? Meanwhile, Nonsense taking a lot of damage there. Light Strike Ray going to fly out, and the Dragon Slave will get the kill, so that's already 2 kills at 4:30. Playing very aggressively, Baba +4. They're getting all they want here in this tri-lane, and probably more.
Yeah, the tri-lane's going exactly how they planned to, and it was just very obvious the way that the V3 squad had picked their team that they could run a tri-lane against it. So they're going to have to try and find something, maybe move heroes around a little bit on this dire side to try and get things going because, like I said before, it's imperative for PL to get that farm going early. Otherwise, it's going to be a long game for him. He's such a squishy hero, vulnerable to a lot of damage, especially coming out from Sven once God Strength's up. In middle lane, a little bit of harassment on Puck, but it looks like Batrider will back off and not try and follow up too hard on that.
But there is that smoke. There's that smoke. We see Lina and Jakiro actually rotating down, maybe looking for a gank onto the side of that Batrider. Or they're just going to head down bottom in general, maybe look for something there. Interesting, they're rotating out, giving Sven some room right now. He's got 21 last hits. He's going to get some more experience because he's solo right now. They're pinging out here on the Beastmaster. They will probably find him, and they will do so. They're going to be a Dragon Slave, maybe a Light Striker ready to fly this off in a minute. There's going to actually be a lasso here on the mid lane, and Puck taking some damage. But actually, Acquiesce is taking a lot more. A lot of the stacks, though, actually will trade the kills there, 1 for 1. But of course, Zephyr going to get that experience. The Batrider not going to do so. But interesting trade. The 5 Napalm stacks doing so much damage, and Big Gun and the rest of the team looking for that kill early on that Beastmaster didn't actually happen. So, interesting trade there in that mid lane.
Yeah, it's really nothing. It's just a nice play, I guess, to actually get the kill out of it. Over-aggression from Batrider could have went really poorly if there was another phase shift available. And we'll have to see how it keeps going. I mean, Batrider should have a pretty good time there, but he's going to have to move because his team's suffering early on. So expect him to try and pick up some more gold, but be much more active across the map. And Battle Hunger might actually finish off Sven here. Oh, he drops
so
down
close.
to 20 health.
I was watching like the past minute, and he even almost got done. But Akiri's actually here on the. He's looking for the chase right now. Akiri and the Axe are going to try to dive J2 right now. J2 taking a bit of damage. Battle Hunger might finish him off. Akiri taking damage from that tower. PhD will in fact get that kill. So they don't get the kill on Sven, but the kill on the Jakiro. And Akiri with the DD rune, he's actually going to salve up. He should be okay right now as long as he doesn't take that tower damage. And
oh no!
And there comes Zephyr though with that illusory orb. Akiri taking a lot of damage. He needs to back off. He's in a lot of trouble. Still got that DD rune on him. He's going to get Dream Coiled right now. There's going to be the boar coming up as well, but the winning Rift will get the kill there from Zephyr. Nice job. PhD trying to chase as well. There's the Battle Hunger now. Zephyr in a big bad position. There's going to be a lasso, and Zephyr is most certainly dead right now. So he doesn't get that kill on Akiri, but he creates his own life. Here comes Stormhammer though to try to counteract this. PhD in some trouble will in fact go down, but I think that's going to be the end of the aggression from Ababa. Acquiesce trying to chase right now. A TP rotation coming in from the Jakiro, and that should be the end of that. So that was a few interesting trades.
Yeah, that was a long sequence of combat, but it actually didn't end up being too bad for the Dire team. They pick up a kill on Puck as well as Jakiro. Those are nice. They did lose a couple of heroes in the mix, but still pretty good being able to take down Puck. Got a second death early now. And look, they're going to go on top of Sven again. Sven taken down pretty low. They have 3 stacks of Stinging Napalm, and that's enough to finish them off.
And he's going to try to get out. Acquiesce is in a bad position. There's another illusory orb. The Firefly going to save him for the moment. No Dream Coil available for 31 seconds. And Acquiesce is going to try to turn around and take J2, and he should be able to do so. And there's a double kill for Acquiesce, and Zephyr now in some trouble as well. Waiting Rift, Zephyr looking to go down as well. And now they're turning this around at 6-5. What the hell is happening? This game is getting ridiculous, like, really quickly. I don't understand these trades, but I mean, it was 1,000 in experience difference a second ago for the side of the Radiant. Now it's going on the side of the Dire. Gold has gone down to even, and trades are going really well for V3. You talked about rotating that lane with Nonsense in it. They did do so, and that's going to give them some room to get kills and things of that nature. And the Radiant side has just been getting a little greedy, trying to chase up on kills, and it's just not been really working for them, honestly.
Before the game, V3 told us to go easy on them because they are newer to SECS play and team play probably, and Beastmaster in the middle of the fight did pop level 6, and he had his Soul Ring available, but he didn't skill it up in the middle of the fight, and I was waiting for the roar the whole time, but he didn't quite manage it, and the fight still went their way. They still managed to pick everyone up, but it was just funny watching it. I was holding my breath waiting for that roar to come out.
Don't give me a reason to give you guys like to say bad things about you, okay? That's what you're thinking right now. They don't.
Denied.
They don't want to be criticized, unfortunately. But they're actually playing very well, 6-5, and that lane rotation is going very well. But we do see the Jakiro and the Lina are down here. But without the Sven, this might be a little bit more difficult. However, Nonsense is very low in health, and he does need to be careful. He's going to spot out Lina here in just a moment for sure. So he'll be fine, though. He's going to eat up a nice little tango there. He's going to get Chakra as well. And keep on hitting Big Gun, but Big Gun with that refraction will be just fine. 46 last hits for that Templar Assassin at 924. Pretty good farm for her. With the phase boots available already. No bottle, obviously, because she's not in that mid lane. And actually seeing a rotation from the Lina heading to mid right now. So Jakiro and the Templar Assassin here alone. TP coming in right now from Acquiesce looking for Zephyr, not going to find him. So Sven actually falling off from farm just a little bit, dying that one time after that dive. PhD and Akiri, speaking of dives, actually looking for him, but he's going to pop Warcry and he'll get away just fine. But he's actually staying here, maybe looking for TP rotation to help. Akiri does have that roar, but of course he's got to use the Soul Ring to do so, which is on 15 seconds of cooldown. Bottom lane, we do see Lina back here, and they might be looking for a little bit more aggression, but they're not doing much. 17 last hits for the Templar, or excuse me, the Phantom Lancer right now, so he's kind of behind, but not too far. He's in striking distance if he can get some room. PhD trying to zone up the Sven here in the top lane. No aggression just yet. Right now, this has actually worked really well. There's actually going to be a TP rotation. Lina going to come in as well as the Jakiro, so Akiri will have to back off with PhD, and they should be just fine. This will go back to the aggressive tri-lane up in the top lane, and we'll save the tower for the moment, but a lot of tower damage being taken there. 401, and that's how much HP it's got left, so.
And on the bottom lane, TA is on that normal timing for the Blink Dagger, around the 12-minute mark, which you'd expect to be from a free farm TA or a solo middle TA. She hasn't been involved in any kills yet, but now she is invisible, standing on top of Keeper of the Light. She's going to come out with a Meld Strike. It does a huge amount of damage. She should get the kill on to Keeper of the Light pretty easily down there. And now has to be careful. She does run back into Phantom Lancer. She goes invisible, though, and he doesn't have anything to detect that.
Oh, just out of range of this. No, actually, no, it's a Radiant Sentry Ward. Never mind. I thought that was a Dire for some reason. Anyways, she'll be fine, though. Meanwhile, Lina actually going to get a kill middle right now with the rest of 4 heroes. So looks like Sven popping his God Strength for that one. Also going to be doing some tower damage. There is a Glyph available, but I don't think that'll be used. They might just take this tower for free unless they try to rotate in at the end of this and try to deny. Nope, looks like the tier 1 tower will go down. Puck getting the kill there. So they get the kill on the Batrider, plus they get the tower as well. It's a big pickup, and it's pretty nice. And of course, that Keeper of the Light going down as well. He was so squishy against that Templar Assassin with that refraction up with the meld damage, which pretty much did half of his life, which was not fortunate for him. And they're Radiant will rotate up to the top lane, maybe looking for a kill. They're going to defend this tower right now, but Matt, good position and good play from the side of Bob +4. We're going to deny here on the top lane as well.
Yeah, they're going to start just moving through these tier 1 towers. They know they have a pretty stable lead, so they're going to try and bring the fight to the Dire team. The Dire team are poised to defend decently if they can get Illuminates off, try and make them come in a little bit weaker than full health. They should be able to do a half-decent job. Sven's going to go ahead and move to the bottom lane and try and farm by himself. Puck actually rotating back towards the middle. And the other problem with Phantom Lancer is that if he doesn't have this farm, he has no team fight presence at all. You can throw in the Phantom Lance or the Spirit Lance, but that's pretty much it for the entirety of what he can do in a team fight, especially against the AoE damage that's coming out from Baba +4 right now.
And look at that, he is fairly squishy as well, so he certainly needs some semblance of farm. Usually try to get that Diffuse Blade up quickly. Meanwhile, actually in the top lane, we see a lot going on here. Axe is going to get the kill on Lina in the meantime, and Beastmaster will also take out the Jakiro. Both of them in bad position, and 4 heroes here on the side of V3, and they're going to rotate down to the bottom lane. They don't want to get this pressure here. Nonsense taking a bit of damage. He's going to back off as well. Another rotation coming in. Is there a lasso for Acquiesce? There absolutely is, and they're going to try to get this on to... Oh, there's the blink on Big Gun. There's the lasso going at him, though. Acquiesce looking for some follow-up. There's a Stormhammer. Acquiesce in a bad position right now. Going to try to get out. Going to keep getting chased there. 4 stacks of the Sticky Napalm. Nice Dream Coil onto 2. Akiri and PhD in a bad position. There's the silence as well. Akiri has no roar. PhD also in a bad position. There's going to be a Light Strike Ray. It will in fact miss. There's going to be a Dragon Slave just barely connecting as well. Will they dive? This is the question. They want this kill with the Illusory Orb. They're going to get it just barely. Axe trying to juke it, but it didn't happen. So nice chase there, getting the kill. And the really just a little bit of a overcommitment from the Batrider with that lasso early on in that team fight. Didn't really wait for his team to get there. Sort of just they kind of came in one by one, and unfortunately they did lose 1 hero because of it.
Yeah, and he's saving up gold too, so he seems committed to going towards that early Blink Dagger, and it's going to be very important that he doesn't drop here in a fight, because that'll set him back a little bit too far. It'll put him around that 17-minute mark for when he'll be able to actually finish it. So they should try and back off a little bit, get some more farm, and pick it up before their next engagement. to just ensure that they don't set themselves any further back. But picking up those 2 kills in the top lane was very nice. It was perhaps a little bit of an overextension misplay by Baba, but nonetheless, you take what you can work with and make the most out of it.
Absolutely, that's most certainly true. And right now, it's actually tied 8 for 8 in kills. However, gold looking to go the favor right now of the Radiant side. You look at it, it's about 2,000 gold going in favor of the side of Baba. So pretty good lead for them right now at 14 minutes. And a lot of that is coming to the fact that the Phantom Lancer really doesn't have any farm. He's got a Ring of Basilius. He's got Treads at least, which is good for him. Yeah, he's not like being shut down completely. He's got like 26 last hits, but he still needs a lot more. He's not really been contributing a lot to these team fights. The thing that we need to notice here is that there is a Blink Dagger, in fact, on big guns, so the Templar Assassin does have that, and you talked about getting it at the normal timing, which is about 12, 13 minutes, and of course Batrider will get his as well, so sort of a little bit later for him, but not too much later. He's going to have that for team fights. That's going to be a nice initiation. Axe going for what seems to be a Ring of Health, probably into a Vanguard, something like that. We'll have to see. He's got a Stat Shield as well. We'll have to see what he decides to go. And right now, stacks are going on the side of Bobbles 4, and this is going to make it pretty easy for Sven to get some farm. He's already got 2 points in a Great Cleave. We usually see either that or, you know, getting the Warcry maxed out first, but at this point he will go for 2 points in a Great Cleave, not really worrying about pushing out lanes.
Bottom lane.
Actually, bottom lane, nonsense, taking a bit of damage there. Big Gun actually going to kill an illusion with Mel. There's going to be a nice path that's going to miss as well because they both backed off. Jungling right now is Akiri, and DD Rune going to be picked up by the puck, and he's going to head mid, but he's too far away from the fight to really do anything unless he wants to TP in. But Bob +4, they're going to try to push this tower, and BKB will be the first choice for Sven. He's got an Ogre Club right now, so we'll have to look and see how fast he can complete that. He's almost got enough for a Mithril Hammer. That's a big deal.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, so he's a bit more farmed than the Phantom Lancer. It's kind of an understatement, but yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, Beastmaster's going to work towards the Necronomicon too. That'll be a nice pickup. At this stage of the game, V3 should probably look for some smoke ganks. Having the lasso and the roar is going to be 2 really big shutdown tactics for them, and they need to just create some space for the Phantom Lancer to get farm going. So it'd be nice to see if they can pick up some smokes, try and move and find the team when it's kind of staggered off. As you can see, Sven has been away from the team for all of 5 minutes right now, farming on the bottom of initiation though.
There's going to be a Drew Coil, a lot of damage being taken. Acquiesce in a bad position. He uses Glasso, not getting too much done though. PhD barely going down. Laguna Blade onto the Acquiesce, but he's still alive. He's using Magic Stick Charge. He'll get out. Big Gun taking a bit of damage from the tower right now. Zephyr as well from Battle Hunger. Everybody's pretty low for the side of the Radiant, but they're going to keep chasing. There's the Blink coming in. They're looking for more. Big Gun will in fact go down. Flame Break. There's the Roar onto J2, taking a bit of damage. And Light Striker will stop him from going in any further right now, taking a lot of damage. There's the Macro Power. Meanwhile, Puck on the backside, getting the kill on the Keeper of the Light. J2 in some trouble right now. Dragon Slate hitting. Akiri's in some trouble, and another kill going there, and Zephyr going to get a triple kill on the backside. Somehow they sort of managed to keep J2 alive as well as the Lina, and helping Puck secure a triple kill, and that's really important. That's a 4-for-1 trade right there with that fight, I believe.
Yeah, that was... They got really unlucky. A lot of heroes low health. You can see Jakiro and Lina retreating back to base, all within 1 hit of death, and they just couldn't quite finish them off. But that was a much more even fight than what you would expect based on how things have been going thus far. And all the while, Sven has been farming top lane. Phantom Lancer did rotate up there to try and get some farm, but he really couldn't do all too much against the Sven heads up. And as such, now Sven's going to actually try and sacrifice his life for the tower. Gets denied by PhD, and then he uses the Culling Blade to finish him off.
Man, what a play there by PhD to not only deny the tower, but get the Sven kill as well. Big plays coming out from PhD, and they need it most right now. And that Sven kill is going to be pretty important. It's going to give him some time, going to give the Phantom Lancer some time to farm, get a little bit more gold going to the favor of the Axe right there with that kill. And of course that tower deny, big tower deny there right when they needed it. So nice play.
Yeah, being able to take down Sven there was crucial because it does slow down his farm towards that BKB, which is going to be a really game-defining object once he's able to pick that up. And as it stands now, he only has 400 gold in the bank with that Mithril Hammer, as you mentioned, in his inventory. So we'll see how much longer it takes him to actually finish the whole thing. And Axe is working towards a Vanguard, but he's not quite there yet. He still needs a good amount of gold.
That's right. He does need to get that Vitality booster, about 500 gold away from that. So we'll try to farm the jungle in the meantime. But there's going to be a lot of aggression still coming in. A Blink coming in from Big Gun, almost going to connect on Itzfos, but he'll be okay. He'll just survive just barely, but... man, that was scary for him. He's still very squishy. He's got no term. He's got boots, and that's it. He doesn't really have too much in terms of tanky items. He could use something like a bracer to keep him alive, but Right now, he's sitting at 700 health and 2 armor, so not really the best for him. The Templar Assassin doing quite a bit of damage with that Refraction and Meld available. Looks like they're going to head bottom right now. Akira's the only one here going to try to defend this with the, of course, the boar is there as well. We see what seems to be 4 or 5 heroes right now heading down to the bottom lane for the side of Baba. They're going to try to take this. They should be able to do so. There's no glyph available for this tower, and if they want to try to defend this, they're going to have to fight for it. But I think Big Gun and his team should be able to take this just fine.
Yeah, this is kind of what I expected before, the 5-man push for the tier 1s, just to get that extra gold underway, and they're going to get this one for free. It's already too low. Illuminate flies off, and Sven does get it with Stormhammer. In fact, they're going to jump in on Sven. He's caught by the Batrider, pulled back with the lasso, onto a lot of fire. Macropyre as well as the Fireflies. The whole map is on fire right now, but it looks like a sort of disengage. They throw out the Flame Break and actually kill off Sven.
Yeah,
now it looks
doing a job there. Nice job. They really need
Hero
that
very
kill.
low too.
And Meld as well, going to be a big deal. J2 going to go down. It looks like one more hit. He's at 15 health, and Akira's going to go down to the Laguna Blade Dragon Slave. He wanted that kill on Jakiro, but he couldn't get it. However, they do get the kill on the Templar Assassin, a 2-for-1 trade. And for the longest time, that was a fight going evenly with no deaths whatsoever. And I got to say, I was just like, how has no one died right now? Zephyr, in the meantime, going to use a Dream Coil on Acquiesce. Might be in some trouble there. Acquiesce, in fact, will go down. Light Sugar hitting on PhD as well. Everybody's really low. The Dragon Slave will connect on him. He's going to go down. Is Foss in some trouble? He's going to have to back off. They can dive this tower if they want this kill. The Illusory Orb is up in 2 seconds. There's a Blink Dagger as well. Blink on top of him. Where's the Waning Rift? Not available. Illusory Orb not going in the right direction. It doesn't matter. Puck will take the kill. And that's a double kill for him. And so what looked to be a nice fight for V3 turns pretty terribly at the end.
Yeah, they just overstayed their welcome a little bit. They should have backed up on the back end of a nice kill. They killed the 2 crucial heroes for Baba +4, but they just stayed there, and Puck has a lot of farm. He comes in with a Blink Dagger, catches off a Dream Coil, and sets up a bunch of easy kills for their side. Templar Assassin farm definitely has slowed down a lot, though, so this is a considerable feat if you're trying to make your way back into the game on V3's side. Being able to slow it down and stop the second item from coming out on the back end of the Blink Dagger, which would probably be the BKB, or if he really wants to be aggressive, the Deso. But either way, slowing that down is going to be imperative, and we'll see exactly how Phantom Lancer can continue to do. He picks up a Blade of Alacrity, so it could be towards perhaps the Diffusal, is what I'd expect.
Yep, absolutely. And that's a really good, talking about slowing down that next item for the Templar Assassin, and even Sven a little bit as well. He's taking a long time to really finish this BKB up, but it feels like V3 is running out of time right now. They really can't continue to fight against a lineup like this, and I think if they start, they're going to start really losing fights here. They're down in terms of gold, they're down in terms of experience, and this tower looks to be the next choice for Baba +4, so they need to get something going. You mentioned smoke ganks early on, and I think they still could benefit from those. They haven't really tried to get much going there. They're actually going to blink right on top of Isfos, and this should be another kill. He's very low, getting body blocked by Akira, and that's actually going to be his death. But Acquiesce is going to turn in, going to look for another kill. Is there a roar available? There is, but they're not going to go. And Zephyr's going to fly, and there's a Dream Coil only on Akira. The Illusory Orb plus the Stormhammer going to get the kill right now. Big Gun trying to limp out of there. The Battle Hunger is going to fly. I think it should be the death of Big Gun, and Acquiesce is going to try to get up on the high ground. He should be able to survive right now, so 2-for-1 trade right now is actually what's going on, and Baba is actually taking some damage from that Spirit Walk, series and Spirit Lance, and Battle Hunger as well. That shouldn't be able to get the kill. I don't think so. He needs to deny a creep regardless. He's actually going to just TP out right now, and so 2-for-1 trade, but yeah, I mean, those are the fights that you can't really go in for if you're V3. Of course, that just Isfos just goes down way too quickly.
Yeah, and I think those are one of the fights that perhaps Phantom Lancer didn't have to be at, because the fight just went poorly off the get-go. They did get the initiation that they wanted. They jumped in and started it off, but the response was too much from the Radiant side, and perhaps if Phantom Lancer was in the bottom lane farming that and pushing out that tower, it would have been a little bit better off for himself and his team, but they couldn't have projected the fight would have went so poorly after getting a nice lasso off early on. So I suppose the issue is in that they just don't have enough farm to compete as it stands right now.
I feel like the MVP item for this game is the Magic Stick and Magic Stone. I feel like it saved so many people's lives already early on in this game.
Yeah, well, with the Batrider in the game, of course, it's very useful for the Radiant side. It's one of those items that you just instantly have to pick up when you're against the Batrider because of Sticky Napalm. It charges you up and it gives you a really nice boost all the time. And it's not like any of the other heroes have that much less spam. Battle Hunger is a low cooldown skill, as well as Illuminate and Act. It really does fill up the Radiant side pretty quickly.
It's just been like spam city with a lot of the abilities, Spirit Lance even as well. I mean, Puck's not really on lowest cooldown. But meanwhile, Acquiesce is going to try to go. Nice silence there on Zephyr. Zephyr's going to use that Dream Coil, but it doesn't matter. Zephyr will get lasted up, and this should be his death. In fact, X going to use the Culling Blade to get the kill. They wanted to ensure it. By the way, he's got a Mystic Staff on him, so that's a little scary. Meanwhile, top lane, Sven pushing that top lane with that BKB finished up right now, so that's, I would never want to fight into that. That's scary, so even without damaging items, he's going to try to Warcry away, and he should be able to get out just fine. TP is actually going to get canceled from the side of Acquiesce. Looks like he'll actually go for a Hood of Defiance, so that's what he's going to go for on the bat right, and try to finish up that pipe inside. Really important. Isfos desperately needs like a bracer or something. Someone get that man a bracer somehow. I don't know. Just get him more tankiness.
Yeah, Venomlance are 500 gold away from finishing off the Diffusal Blade, so we'll see how that could actually manage against this side, and if it will be a useful item. Of course, it's going to let him deal more damage. The problem is that the farm is there where the mana drain isn't going to be all too significant. It will boost his damage a little bit. And the Diffusal, you can slow people down, but that's only if the fight is still going on for that long for him to actually deal significant damage through either Spirit Lance or Auto Attacks. And that's the other thing about Phantom Lancer. He kind of enjoys long fights, so he needs to be healthy. He needs to be stronger in terms of his life pool. And only sitting around 1,000 health is going to be really bad. We've already seen Laguna Blade take him down a couple times, and Lina is level 11 now, so Laguna Blade is hitting for 675, so that's almost 2/3 of his health.
Yeah, and he's it's pretty squishy. Yeah, he's gonna try to rely on his sort of doppelwalk and his invisibility to stay alive in team fights, but he's gonna need some more tankiness, like you said. Getting a vitality booster pretty soon might be pretty helpful. Now, what's important to note also is Sven's going for a Mask of Madness. You can see his Morbid Mask is up in his inventory. They're actually gonna go for a Smoke Ink right now, and this could be absolutely devastating. And this could be really, if they can get a bunch of heroes here with a nice Dream Coil. Actually, Zephyr is not going to. He's going to be the bait right now. They're actually going to go in on Zephyr. There's going to be the lasso right now. So while they're doing this, they're actually going to lose Zephyr into this lasso right now. He's trying to face shift, trying to buy some time. Meanwhile, on the backside, here comes Sven. There's going to be God Strength and Warcry. And there's the Dream Coil going as well. Nice Dream Coil. There's going to be the Roar onto the Sven, going to save his life. Laguna Blade and instantly taking out Keeper Light. Nonsense going to go down as well. PhD in a bad position, and man, they're cleaning up right now. Buyback coming in from Acquiesce. He doesn't have a lasso. He already used it, but good cleanup there from the side of Baba and Sven. And just, man, that was a lot of damage that just came from the backside. They weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, they got caught in an awkward spot when they initiated because they were trying to round by the secret shop, but Sven, meanwhile, Puck had already been jumped on, but they still came in and they just showed how strong they really are. Sven jumping in, finishing off everyone else, Macropyre there as well, and there's just a lot of damage coming out, and this is a game where the experience advantage, 5,000, it's the difference between a level 10 Jakiro, and if you take a look at the level chart, level 9 on Keeper the Light, which it's a considerable amount of damage. Same thing, Lena's level 12, Keeper Light level 9. So if you're comparing the supports levels, you know, it's coming into play in a big way in terms of their actual net output.
You talked about the Laguna Blade doing 650 damage because she is level 11. You're talking about levels, or was level 11, I guess, during that fight. She used it on Keeper the Light. He only has 758 health, so he pretty much died instantaneously. He had already taken a little bit of health during the fight, and once the Laguna Blade went off, he was just instant killed. So, yeah, it's a lot of damage. Keeper the Light. He does have the headdress, so that's something to talk about for him. He's looking forward to maybe getting some more items here. Probably going to finish that mech as quickly as possible, but that might take some time. Of course, the Mask Madness finished for Sven right now, so his farm is going pretty well for himself. He's got full cleave, he's got full Warcry, he's level 14 right now. Net worth, he's leading the way, just barely over the side of Puck. He's got 8,900, almost 9,000 in terms of gold. He's going to keep, actually he's almost going to die to the neutral creeps, but he'll be fine right now. Maybe. Going to try to get more lifesteal. Kiting. This is dangerous.
Yeah, he's 1,500 gold in the bank. Probably go for something like a Chrysalis next, just to add some more damage on the back end of that Mask of Madness. And Zephyr, meanwhile, and Puck as well, he's getting closer and closer towards finishing off that Scythe of Ice with 1,500 gold in the bank, and that's going to be a huge pickup. That is going to further help them advance and get into the base, which isn't going to be the easiest thing because there's a lot of initiation, Roar, Lasso, Illuminate. Even Axe, who's been struggling this game, he has 6 deaths, and he can't really get anyone in the middle of a team fight down to the range where Culling Blade would kill them off quite yet, and that certainly is a concern, but it's still nonetheless going to be difficult to push into. They don't have that decisive of an advantage to just march on through them quite yet, which is why they're going to try and find alternatives, maybe go for a Roshan sooner or later.
Well, it might be later if they get initiated on here. There's a Smoke Gang coming on the side of V3 right now. Scout Hawk going to try to give them some vision here and see what's going on. While this is happening, 12,000 gold advantage is going in favor of Baba, so we have to keep that in mind.
Radiant's bottom
They're
tower
not going
is
just
under
yet.
attack.
They're thinking about what they want to do here. Are they going to go on the other side? We do see Lena coming in, and there's going to be the blink of an acquiesce, and they're going to go on Cookies in some trouble. They're going to get this kill. PSG already taking a bit of damage. Illuminate not going to get the kills just yet. Cookie looks like he will go down. J2 now in some trouble. Meanwhile, Big Gun on the backside doing a lot of damage to Acquiesce, and Big Gun looks like he will get that kill. Yes, but he will trade it for his own life, in fact. So 3 going down right now on the side of Baba. Only 1 for V3, so good trade there. Of course, Sven was not in that fight. If it was, it would be a drastically different fight. Nor was the Puck. Actually, the Puck was on the backside and the jungle heading up to that fight. Zephyr right now playing a little precariously up, so good trade for them. That's going to give them a little bit of experience going back to the side of V3 and a little bit of gold as well, but they need a lot more of that to be able to come back. Meanwhile, on the backside, here's Zephyr wants to go in on maybe one of them. Yep, he's going to go right into the Keeper of the Light. Isfas is going to go down for sure, I think, unless they can save him somehow. Nope, Isfas is in fact going to go down. Zephyr getting the kill there with that Dream Coil, so ends up being a 3 for 2 trade, but still they're ahead of that trade, and they need a lot more of that, though.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome move from the Dire side, being able to pick off those kills. It went really well, exactly how they had forecasted it to go. And they did buy, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, they're buying Phantom Lancer some time to farm. He finishes off his Diffusal. Now things are going a little bit better for him. He's going to need to pick up a health item now that he has 1,000 gold in the bank. We'll see exactly what he wants to work for in a moment. BKB isn't that bad of an idea. The problem is that it's not going to protect you from any of the damage from Sven or Linnaea, so there might be a better alternative. I just don't know what he's going to get in such a short amount of time. And the other thing is that Linnaea did pick up a Deso, so she didn't opt for the BKB, went all out on damage, and now they're going to go for a Roche attempt down here on the bottom half of the map.
And meanwhile, while that fight was happening, Sven actually picked up his armlet while he also had his Mask Madness. So his farm is getting pretty ridiculous at this point. The Puck is actually not too far behind. It's just very close to finishing that off, that side of buys, of course. And they were looking for a kill here in the mid lane on Akiri, but Akiri will in fact back off. With that Necro Book, it is level 3. That is pretty important to have. That's going to really help them in team fights. It's going to be nice to have them, providing a little bit of true set as well. But yeah, no, that should be good for them. Meanwhile, they're going to turn around. They're going to take Roche. There's no wards here, I don't believe, for the side of the Dire. So I don't think they might understand that this is going on, but I don't know if they'll be able to contest this. Actually, they have the Scout Hawk here. What am I talking about?
Yeah, they had to know what's going on, and they're going to throw in a Battle Hunger as well. But the problem is, can they really contest? They're actually going to jump in. Acquiesce catches off Baba. He's going to bring it back up to the high ground. They're going to try and finish off Sven first and cost off the BKB. And he's going to just turn around with the Godstrict active. Lena already taking down Axe on the back end of it. He throws the Stormhammer out on top of Keeper of the Light. And instead, he's going to get roared up. And Sven might actually go down here, but the team support jumps in. And it's going to be too much. They're going to turn the tide. Eastman Free Focus down in the middle of an ice path. And now Keeper of the Light going to be taken out by Puck. And it just went horribly wrong.
That armlet toggle, man. I thought for sure they were going to get Sven beat. Armlet toggled right at the right time. It was ridiculous. They're going to take this Roshan now. Buyback ensuing from Akiri right now. He wants to get that kill. I don't know if he's going to be able to do so. He's got no way to get into this pit without absolutely just dying. He's got no roar. He can axe, but that's not going to get any kills. He's going to be maybe targeted next. They're looking for it. And the Aegis will be picked up by the Sven. And that's going to be pretty important. And now that Sven unkillable for at least 1 or 2 times. So Sven is looking pretty good. That was a great blink from Zephyr up onto that high ground and just them getting into position. Of course, he's got that Hex Stick now for the side of Puck, and everything's really just going the way of Baba right now on the Radiant side. The top tier 2 did in fact go down. I think that might have gone down for a while though on the side of Baba, and they have the mid tier 1 still, but it's very low in health, so it's actually going sort of evenly. But yeah, no, that fight went horribly wrong on the side of V3. That did not go the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, one of the problems is bringing out to the high ground is always really good because you're separating him from his team. But his team happens to have 2 heroes that can just jump right up with him between the Templar Assassin as well as the Puck. And they were able to get up there and kind of turn the fight in their favor with the big Ice Path as well. Once you got the BKB off, Sven wasn't really the focus any longer in the fight, and it's primarily because they don't have that much physical damage. But while I'm saying that, you realize that they don't have that much magical damage as well. It's just PL didn't really come to that fight because he was trying to get his farm going, and he's up to around 3,000 gold now, which it's not a bad idea early on in the game. As I mentioned, you know, farming as an alternative instead of coming to every little engagement is certainly not a bad idea, but that fight was pretty important. I'm not sure he could have done much at all there. Maybe gotten the last hit and killed off Sven if he got lucky, but he probably would have traded his life for it. So either way, they're lacking that damage, and it was clearly evident there as they got Sven down so low so early on. and just couldn't get that final hit.
Nah, it was so close, and that armlet tackle saved his life more than a few times in that fight. Phantom Lancer with 3,300 gold on him. Probably going to look towards the tanky item, or we might actually see, he might be saving him for a relic there, something like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a little late in the game for Radiance, but, you know, it could happen. Absolutely, they could be going for that. They're actually going to keep trying to stack up these Ancients here, but they're going to find this out here. Kiri walked right over that Psionic Trap, so they do see that. They do see that's happening. Blink Dagger pushed up on the axe right now, and that's going to be pretty important. He's got that Berserker's Call. He's going to blink in. He's going to taunt, but if you can get a Blade Melee, he'd be in a good position against that Sven, but unfortunately, I mean, he doesn't really have much. As soon as he blinks in and Berserker's Call is onto that Sven, Sven's pretty much just going to crush him, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, Berserker's Call does give him plus 40 armor, so he can withstand a little bit of damage, but like you said, Sven is just outputting so much right now that it's not really a match for him. He can essentially hold him off his teammates for 3 seconds or so. But PL, it would be a really bad idea if he went for the Radiance. I don't think he will. I think he realizes he needs an item that can let him stand in the middle of team fights. But it's not looking great. We're going to see him try to put an attempt on this tier 2 tower here. 4 heroes here. PL is going to off push a little bit. This is the right thing. They should probably just give up this tower. They're going to put a little bit of, I want to say, defense up, but it's really just trying to stand here and slow it down a little bit. They're not committing.
They're going to stall as much as possible. They're going to use the glyph right there. They're not thinking about going in. They don't have Phantom Lancer. They're certainly not going to do without him. Axes are going to fly out. I mean, Baba still has an Aegis. He'll look to keep pushing right now. They'll take the tier 2 tower and they'll back off, happy to get that. Maybe look for more kills right now, but they have to avoid getting hit by the Illuminate, which they did do right there. We are looking for something, but everybody else is on the high ground right now for the side of E3. But that did give the Phantom Lancer some time to continue farming. He does buy up that relic, so it actually might be a Radiance. Honestly, that's an interesting pickup, and I agree with you that that's probably not the best idea, but he might go for it regardless. Meanwhile, actually having a huge initiation right now here on the high ground. Zephyr getting the first kill on Axe, and will go down, but that is the HP pop. Zephyr taking some damage from that lasso, and the Firefly gonna go down as well. And Big Gun in some trouble. There's the Diffusal as well. Nonsense doing a lot of damage. There's the kill. Baba is gonna keep chasing after Isfas, but Isfas is going to get out. Nonsense taking a lot of damage right now. They want this kill. There's the Stormhammer onto Akira. They're going to try to kite this. Is there anywhere for him to stop? Nice flame break, and he's going to go down. They get the kill on the Sven. So a bad initiation. They're able to hold, despite everyone being so low on the side of E3.
Yeah, and it certainly didn't go how the Radiant side wanted it to go. It went pretty poorly, and as such, they're able to hold. And that's what I'm saying. Fighting into the base is not as easy as it seems. That's why they kind of took a methodical and slow approach to it. And when they finally committed to it, it didn't go great for them. And we'll see. The Radiance is going to be finished up soon here by Phantom Lancer, but it's too late in the game for Radiance to really mean anything. The only positive we'll have is it could potentially tick the blink from Templar Assassin and prevent her from coming in if there's an illusion chasing her down, as well as Puck 2. So it has one kind of positive effect, but the damage coming out from it is really minimal where we stand right now. And as such, it's a little bit disheartening to see that item picked up around the 38-minute mark when it'll be actually completed.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, you think about when the Radiance is really effective, and right around the time of 20 minutes, somewhere thereabouts in that general vicinity. And 38 minutes is not when you want a Radiance, honestly. That will not provide you too much damage in terms of team fights. It'll be good if you're, doppelwalking, you're trying to get away and deal damage at the same time, or like you said, trying to take off blink daggers, and reset their cooldowns, things like that. But I don't know if this is the best pickup for Phantom Lancer. I think he could have gone with something like a Heart of Tarask or something that would just give him more damage or more health and just sort of mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from Sven. And we saw Sven just trying to man mode everybody, and he just doesn't have nearly enough items. If he had maybe like a Chrysalis or a Daedalus, he probably could have ran right in there and just taken just everything and just taken that like entire team. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so. And I think one thing that the Radiant could absolutely use in these team fights, especially going uphill, is a Pipe of Insight. And right now, no one's building towards it. And Jakiro has a full mech, but other than that, there's no Pipe of Insight. It looks like there's not going to be any Pipe of Insight, or at least for a decent amount of time coming out from that Radiant side. So against the magic damage, especially, I mean, not a lot of. You've got the Bat Rider. That's providing probably the most magic damage besides the Illuminate, of course. So you have to figure that you want to mitigate it somehow. You want to sort of mitigate that magic damage as much as possible. Primal Roar even as well would be nice to mitigate. So we'll have to see if they're going to actually try to finish that up. Fighting on the high ground with the pipe is so nice. Provides you sort of that little bit of comfort when fighting into damaging things like the Firefly.
Yeah, that's one of the things too. They don't have any force staffs, which is nice to have against Roar to kind of alter the positioning of whoever is targeted by it. And Lina opted to go for an Aghanims, of course, because she had excellent farm. And Jakiro had to pick up the slack in terms of the support capacity and as well as the mech. So they don't have that force staff to try and save someone who is roared off or to try and, get someone out of there if they're in a poor situation like Spen was in the last fight. So that's something you'd probably see in a typical matchup, but since this matchup went so far in favor, Lina was able to go for a different set of items than what you'd normally see in that support role.
Absolutely.
Smoke gang.
That's really... Oh, they're actually going to find a few people out here. There's the lasso up on this Sven right now. He's going to pop his BKB. Zerker's Call going to go in. Zephyr going to go down immediately with that Culling Blade. Axe getting the kill. There's the Roar on Abba. He's in some trouble. He's going to Stormhammer his way out, but that's not going to be enough. He's going to go down, and Axe getting a double kill. Now this Smoke Gang puts them in a good position. They're going to try to rotate around here. Cookie, Big Gun, and everybody else on the high ground right now. Maybe try to force an engagement.
They're standing on a ward.
Yeah, they're standing right on top of it. Good point there. Big Gun in some trouble right now. Fraction is gone. There's the Laguna Blade on PhD. He's taking a bit of damage. He's barely surviving right now. There's the Macro Pyro. Doesn't matter. Templar Assassin won't let that go down. Not before Axe, though. J2 trying to get out of there. Same with Cookie. In a bad position. Nonsense going to try to get the kill. Nice Ice Path. Going to save their lives momentarily, but J2 looks like it'll go down as well as Cookie. They're going to keep chasing right now. Going to try to get that kill. Cookie will, in fact, go down. Yes. They're going to get that kill. And Jakiro going down as well. That's a full team wipe, and V3 is back in it right now after that one, I think. I mean, they've got a ways to go, but that is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that was an awesome fight, and that's exactly because of the smoke coming in from the side there. They caught two heroes off, and because of their map vision, which give all the credit in the world to the supports, they knew exactly where the heroes were. Half of the team was standing on the ward in their jungle, and the rest of the team was spotted off by the ward in the middle lane over by the ancient stacks. So they knew exactly what they were going into, and that's always best case scenario coming out of a smoke tank when you know who you're trying to fight, what you can expend to take down those heroes within reason, and it was really impressive overall. And they're going to get a tower on the back end of this, so perhaps V3 not quite out of it, as we may have thought earlier on.
Yeah, man, it was looking dire for them. No pun intended. God, I hate when I do that, but they're in a good position now. They're taking towers. They're going to try to take this tier 2 anyways. I don't think they should stay here for too much longer, though. They need to be careful. They're going to try to take this creep wave up. Of course, the Necro Warriors are up, trying to take the tower. TP coming in from the Templar Assassin. Going to maybe try to chase the Bat Rider, but he's already blinked away, so he's in good position. Meanwhile, Zephyr's actually going to try to lose Reorb in here. Nope. Akiri, though, in some bit of a trouble. He's going to try to TP out. Will he be able to get there? No. The kill will, in fact, go just barely. The Flame Break not going to save him. And now, Acquiesce just going to blink away in time. The trap going to fly as well. Acquiesce trying to get out of there, but another blink coming in from Zephyr. He's going to last up Zephyr, but Acquiesce is most certainly dead. And he's actually going to go Scepter, and he still might be able to get out of there. He's got 3 seconds on that Blink Dagger. No, he will, in fact, go down. Sven getting the kill, trying to get away as quickly as possible, but unfortunately, they will lose it. He will. We actually have the Beastmaster buyback. Is there a buyback for Bat Rider? There absolutely is. He's going to do so as well. And now they might not be able to push into this Tier 3. They have to be careful. Of course, the Tier 3 bottom or top is actually being pressured right now by the Phantom Lancer. Might try to take this. He's got to TP back. There's actually going to TP back there. He's going to doppel walk away. Sven's going to get this farm, and that really mitigates that that pressure from both sides. So they're going to back off and just get ready to farm again.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to try and push the base there because Roche is back in 2 minutes. So you want to sit on that and try and get yourself poised for essentially a free Roche, but it looks like actually the Dire team are going to rotate towards it. Maybe they took down the timing, or maybe they're just coincidentally going towards the ancient stacks. But either way, it's been pretty well played by V3 throughout the game. Their problem has been that lingering effect. After every fight, we seem to see someone come back in and finish off a couple of their stragglers, and that is perhaps part of being a newer team, not as familiar with getting out of there. You don't expect that quick response out from the other squad when you're playing in team play.
Absolutely. They were down there for that, looking for that tier 2 way too long. And eventually it did go down, but not before they got 2 deaths on the side of V3. Talisman Evasion, next choice for the Phantom Lancer. That's kind of a big deal. Looking to maybe build towards that Butterfly, maybe just looking to pick up the Casual Talisman and build into something else. We'll have to see. He's got a bit of damage right now with the Radiance, with the Diffusal Blade. He just needs that survivability. Talisman of Evasion will make it a little bit better for him with that 25% miss chance for evasion, what have you. So we'll have to see if that does help him at all. I would certainly like to see more HP on him, but he's not going to go that route at this point, I don't think. Roshan is up, like you mentioned, in about a few more seconds it'll be up again. And if you look at the graphs right now, experience, it's about 6,000 in favor of Radiant. It was a little bit. It was actually at 2,000 at one point, not a few minutes ago. We're actually going to see 6,000 right now going in terms of gold. A significant difference from about 5 minutes ago, so to keep that in mind. And right now, 5 looking for a smoke gank right now on the side of Baba, so they're going to blink in there. They're actually going to meld up on top in Big Gun. They're going to ping this out. IsFast is in some trouble. He needs to get back. PhD shouldn't be here. IsFast is in some trouble. He needs to get up on the high ground. Will he be able to do so is the question. They're still chasing. There's going to be a blink on top of him. Maybe will they fight on the high ground is the question. No, they're trying to chase up here on the top. So looking for nonsense, and Akiri, there's going to be the roar right now, the blink coming in as well. Akiri taking a bit of damage. Dream Coil on 1, the Guna Blade going as well. PhD blinking in right now. Baba's taking some damage. Lassoed up. There's the Macro Pyro as well. Baba taking a lot of damage. Nonsense wants to go by Sugar Ray. There's the toggle of the armlet. Nonsense will go down. Can they get Sven? That was the question. BKB's still going. He's trying to toggle. He's going to go down there. Sven, in fact, going down 2-for-1 trade, but now can they keep fighting? Big Gun is looking for more kills, and they might have to back off, and they will do so. So trading the 1 for the 2, but we have a Sven buying back right now. So that's
Yeah, they were chasing down that Keeper of the Light, but then when they saw it through the Ward Vision on the High Rock, they saw 2 heroes retreating back there. They thought it was a better opportunity, and they ended up getting a 2-for-1 trade, being able to take down the PL and the Axe. It's a pretty decent trade. Sven already has a lot of farm, slowing down PL from continuing to farm at a good rate, which he's been doing for the past 15 minutes or so. It's definitely going to be beneficial towards their angle effort of breaking into the base, because those illusions are going to be a hassle when you're trying to work through and take down some Raxes. And now they can rotate over and try and go for this Roshan, which may have been one of the purposes of the buyback, as we do see Sven running down towards this half of the map now.
Yeah, and they're looking for it, and they're certainly going to be able to get it. He's got a Chrysalis up on him, by the way, as well, so that's going to be a lot of damage for him. He's going to be able to take down this Roshan with some relative ease, assuming the fact that, well, first of all, Templar Assassin's got meld, plus the minus armor from that Desolator as well. This Roshan is going to be done in a matter of seconds, in fact, as you can see it. Sven going to pick up the Aegis there. There's no way they can contest. It's way too late. They try to smoke in there on the side of E3, and they're not going to be able to find anything, unfortunately, so... But they've been playing so strong up to this point, but that last team fight, and they only lost 2 there, but it was 2 heroes that were sort of needed. Of course, I think it was the Phantom Lancer and the Axe, I believe, going down as well. So, and the fact that Sven bought back allows him to get that Aegis, allows him to continue his farm for the time being, despite the fact that he will have to pay some gold for that price, but he's completely happy with that. Now they're going to try to push it into the base somehow, maybe go for another smoke gank. We do see what looks to be a Shiva's Guard finishing up for Zephyr right now, so his farm is absolutely outstanding. No pipe just yet, I don't think, for anybody here on the side of the Radiant. No. A lot of Ghost Scepters, though. Actually, just 2, but still.
It's going to be really crucial for the Dire to not take a fight here unless they get rid of that vision, because the Radiant want to take a fight on this tier 2, and hopefully they don't defend this, because this could go really poorly for them. The tower already dropping down to around 3/4 health.
Yeah,
and it looks like they're actually going to try and stand here. This is... Outside of the base is going to be where the Radiant want to fight, and because they can probably get a better team fight, execute more properly, and not have to have Sven overextend like he's been doing prior in the base.
They do need to be careful. There is this ward on the high ground right now, which is going to spot everything out right now. I don't think they're going to stay here for too much longer. This tower is going to go down very slowly but surely from Sven hitting away at it. Looks like it will go down. They're not going to contest it. They need to get back in the base right now. There's no point in staying outside anymore if you're going to let the tower go. So that will go down. It's a good thing they didn't get initiated on there, so...
Yeah, that was a really good idea. That much better play than trying to defend that tower at this stage of the game. Just let it go. Don't try and make too much out of it. And it looks like the farming is going to continue. Sven now sitting on 2,700 gold, but buyback is on cooldown for another 2 minutes. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a timing they want to wait for, if they want to pick up a big item. He does have the Aegis as well, so not too afraid of dropping in the middle of the fight, but nonetheless, they don't want to provide an opening for V3 to continue this miraculous comeback. As Templar Assassin does finish off that BKB, I'm not sure if you mentioned that or not, but 10-second duration should be nice in the middle of the next team fight.
That'll be absolutely huge. It'll be tough to focus them down. Really, it's going to come down to, first of all, that Aegis is going to... They need to sort of... I think PhD and his team needs to really stall time. They cannot get initiated like this, especially. They're looking for fights here with Sven. They're going to back up wisely. Akiri should be able to get back home just fine, but if they got initiated like that, that could have been the end of the game right there. You don't want to get initiated with that Sven. He's farming like crazy. He's going to pick up that Daedalus relatively soon. I think that's when they're going to try to fight in. Once they finish that Daedalus, he's got that Aegis. They need to make sure they use that Aegis, though, before it does go to waste. They need to have that up and they need to have that available. And it looks like actually they're going to go right for mid as of this point right now. I don't know if they're looking for anything, trying to bait something out right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They're standing on top of Ward 2, so they'll know that there are two heroes in the middle lane. The spot off maybe it looks like TA is going to walk into Vision 2, so they know what they're up against. And this could be a game-defining battle going on right here if they want to try and go into the base. Puck's going to have to commit a lot, though, to jump into there. He should try and orb out immediately after. That's usually what you see Pucks do. Get off the skills, orb out, probably use Shivas and Shiv someone down as well, but they're just going to back up. They can take down the wave so quickly with that Illuminate that it's very hard to try and finish the final frontier.
I mean, fighting up into this is going to be difficult, and it always will be. Like, even if you have the most farm in the world, fighting into a tier 3 is one of the most daunting tasks, I think, for any player, especially newer Dota players, if you think about it. And I'm not saying these guys are. Obviously, these guys are probably a lot more skilled than I am, but as a newer player, when you try to fight into a tier 3, you don't know when to go in, you don't know when to initiate, when to use a pipe, when to do certain things. Fighting into that's going to be very difficult, and with Sven getting some farm, it'll make it a little bit easier, of course, like you said, with Puck initiating, getting in there, try and get a sheep going, try to get a Shivas, and then get out as quickly as possible. That's going to be something that they're going to have to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, we're going to see Smoke Gang coming on the side of V3, looking for the Radiant Jungle right now. They're not going to find anybody. Everyone's sitting sort of around this mid lane right now. Of course, Sven is top. That's really who they want, but of course, they're not going to be able to get him. Everybody's sort of backing right now. They want to go into the base. They might be able to catch out the Jakiro if they're lucky. They're not. They're actually going to back off right now, realizing that they're way too overextended because Akiri's down here in the bottom lane, just farming on his own. He's actually going for a point booster right now, so he's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter, I have to imagine, for that Beastmaster, giving that increased range on that roar. Always nice to have, as well as the cooldown, by the way.
Yeah, the cooldown is really important, and it's really nice. The Smoke Gang attempt was a nice attempt. Unfortunately, the Radiant wised up to it and were able to back up and not really get caught out there. And it looked like they were thinking about going on Puck in the middle lane, but decided against it. They wanted to go for someone else, a different target in mind, perhaps towards the bottom where Templar Assassin was farming up. And there was a little bit of a spread going on initially when they started off the smoke, but they just couldn't really convert and find anybody. Axe, meanwhile, does finish off his Blade Mail, so we'll see if you can try and get onto that Sven and return some damage on him early in the fight. And that will certainly be beneficial if they can get a couple of Sven's God Strength hits back on him and get him down to perhaps that threshold where he can either Culling Blade or someone else can finish him off. PA's damage output is going to be, damage output is going to be pretty sizable where we stand right now. The problem is still going to remain his survivability. He has that Talisman of Evasion, still not willing to spend any more money because of the buyback cost. And that probably won't change for the next couple of minutes until a big T-fight comes down. And it might be here in the middle lane again. They're going to try and break through here. Timer on Roche.
It's getting close. That Aegis timer is getting very close. So that's going to run out, maybe even in the middle of a team fight. So they need to try to make something happen now. They're going to try to do it. Aegis is going to pop out if they kill him right now. He's taking a bit of damage. He just wants to group for this tower. Nonsense taking a bit of damage. He's going to be okay for the moment. He's going to eventually back off. But yeah, Sven doesn't have an Aegis anymore. It just wore off. So they're going to mech up, and they can actually take this right now if they wanted to. Oh, Sven is so low. But they will push him back, and there's that Aegis. It's gone. So they did have the Daedalus, but they couldn't get anything done with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure they were aware of the timing because he dropped down and they could have really just Culling Bladed him. They could have just blinked in and finished him because he had mistimed it a little bit and they obviously didn't know the time either. So a little bit of a miscue for both sides there. They almost lost Sven for free.
And that would have been a big deal. I don't know if he might not have had enough for a buyback either at that point in time. But a little too late for the side of V3. They will hold this tier 3 tower, but they did take some few free hits from Sven. But that does give some room for Nonsense to farm. He did go down pretty quickly against that Sven once he turned on him, and he did double walk away. There is a gem of True Sight on the Lena, by the way, so that's going to give them vision of a lot of stuff. First of all, first and foremost, they're going to counter ward everywhere on the map. There's only one ward available for the Dire side right now. That's right over the Roshan pit. But of course, double walk getting that vision, it's going to be pretty interesting. So once again, thanks for joining us, guys. 50 minutes already into this game. It doesn't seem like it, but V3 versus Baba. And Baba in commanding lead right now. Once again, I'm Maut. Thanks for joining us on Dota. Joining me today is NYJohn. And once again, we're having a good time right now. And this game is going pretty long, but it's been back and forth affair with a lot of great team fights. And I got to say, it's been pretty exciting to watch. And this might be the culminating moment. Sven heading up to the top lane right now, looking for a few hits on the tower. He's taking a bit of damage. There's the blink. There's going to be the Berserker's Call as well. Sven taking a bit of damage. Lasso on the backside. On to Zephyr right now. We're not going to be able to get anything done. There's the roar. Sven very close to going down. There's the Culling Blade. Axe going to get it. A lot of AoE damage coming. There's going to be a buyback from Sven. He's not too... He's going to need to TP away with bots or something. I don't know if he has him. Big Gun taking some damage with the BKB as well. Sven going to try to get up there as quickly as possible. Zephyr going to try to get up. There's a Laguna Blade right on the Phantom Lancer. That's a big kill. and he is down for another 3,000 or another 78 seconds, and Acquiesce is in trouble as well. There's going to be the buyback coming in from the Phantom Lancer, and they're going to try to turn this around. How the Acquiesce does in fact go down, and Sven looking to come back up here, looking to finish this right now. They did get the Sven, but that required a lot of abilities to do so, including the Roar. They don't have the Batrider anymore. Once he gets back up, there will be a blink into a lasso, I'm sure of it, but they got Sven early on. Now, can they hold this 4v5 is the question. Unless Batrider has a buyback, it looks like he does not, in fact. So this is going to be tough, and this could be a pivotal moment right now.
This is a really heavy all-in, because this is essentially it. Sven doesn't have another buyback. If they hold here, they can turn this around and maybe get a Rax of their own. So if they commit to this, this is really big for the Radiant side.
Oh, man. This is... Can you ask for any more action? They're actually going to back off right now. So they do hold that tier 3.
Think better of it, and that's probably the right decision because they really would have been live or die by the aggression right there. They tried to jump into the base, and now it looks like Dire are actually going to look for some stragglers and run into Puck here in the jungle. He blinks forward, Axe does, he jumps on top of him, but Puck's able to go ahead and use her own blink dagger and get out of there safely. That could have been really bad. You can't afford to lose any heroes where they stand right now because it's going to cost you the tune of whatever your buyback cost is, which is probably around 1,500 at this stage of the game. And no one's really maxed out on items. Everyone can still benefit from using some more gold. And Sven, meanwhile, with no buyback for 3 more minutes. So this could be...
though. Oh, man, he's in some trouble. There's the Stormhammer long range. It's going to hit. It's around the trees, though. There's going to be Zephyr coming in as well. And Big Gun. Nice roar onto the Sven. He's taking a bit of damage from that Blade Mail. The Axe does get hexed up. Sven taking a lot of damage, though. They need to try to get this kill. He's going to get calling. PSG going to get the kill there, and that buyback is gone right now. Big Gun is in some trouble, however. There's going to be nonsense on the backside looking for Big Gun. The Refraction is still available. He's trying to get the kill. He's got a double kill. Big Gun, though, looks like he might go down. Meld is available. He's going to Firefly right on top of him, and they will get the kill on the Templar Assassin and the Sven. Koda will buy back. Akiru's the only one down right now. A huge misplay for that Sven to go down. He popped his Blade Mail. PSG did just in time, getting that massive amount of damage. There's a defusal onto Akiru, taking a ton of damage right now. He's the next kill. He's going to go down for sure. Nonsense should be able to get this one, and in fact will do so, and they're going to keep pushing with this. They've got about a minute right now where they have sort of just free reign over the map. Templar Assassin does not actually does have a buyback, excuse me, as well as the Lina, but Lina's not dead, of course. But Sven not having one for another 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and that's a big deal. Right now they've got 4 heroes. They don't even need the Beastmaster right now. PSG playing so well with his Blade Mail. Just the blinks are crazy. He got hexed up. It didn't even matter. He popped his Blade Mail right in time, and that was just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and here we go onto tier 3 tower in the middle. And this is going to be one of those times where you usually stay focused on the racks, so you could jump past it now because Lasso's back up on Batrider already. Any pickoff here is going to be really crucial. There it goes.
They want Cookie, they're going to get it. Hex, but Zephyr's taking a lot of damage. Lasso on him, they need to get him down. He's going to phase shift out. He should be able to survive. Buyback coming in from Melina right now. But they did use the Laguna Blade on PhD, but he's going to be able to survive. Zephyr going to try to throw a Illusory Orb in there and try to back them off. They want this tower. They want this tier 3. And that would be the first tier 3 of the game, and it will go down. Phantom Lancer getting the kill. Pipe is popped. They want the racks right now. This could be huge. Sven back up in 2 seconds. They have to be careful. Lina going to come in with a Light Strike Array. Will hit on Nonsense. Here comes Zephyr. He's going to use his Shiva's Guard. They want this. They want this. There's the Dream Coil. Nonsense in some trouble. He will, in fact, go down. This might be too much for them. Acquiesce now with his Ghost Scepter going to try to get out there. He's going to blink PhD now in some trouble as well. Going to head down. He's going to try to look for a blink. He will blink out into the bottom lane. They're going to be okay for the moment. Hex, though, on Acquiesce. Acquiesce is also silenced. He's going to go down. It looks like, in fact, will do so. And they did get the melee racks, but they're going to lose 4 heroes because of it.
Yeah, 4 heroes go down, and there's not going to be buyback for Phantom Lancer for another minute as well. So this could be a very crucial time. They might be able to get a return racks, or Roche just respawn. They can go for that pretty easily. So we'll see what decision they want to make here. But getting down that melee barracks was really crucial. It's good to see that they got it down. However, at what cost? I mean, the fact that they overstayed just a little bit too long, perhaps. They could have backed up and saved everybody after taking down the tower.
Big Gun taking a lot of damage from the Necro Warrior. Anyways, yeah, no, Templar Assassin actually finishing up a Daedalus, and that was huge. I mean, if they just backed off after they got that tier 3, they could have lived, and they maybe even could have turned that into a Roche or something else. But the fact that they went in looking for the racks, they got the melee racks, but you're right, at what cost was that? I mean, that was just not what they wanted to do. And this tier 3 is going to get traded in return right now. Batrider will buy back, but 15 seconds for that Phantom Lancer to be up. They cannot hold this without him. There's going to be the roar on the Sven. It's going to hold him for the moment. He's taking a bit of damage as well. TP's coming in. Melee Raxes are looking to be the goal. PhD will blink in. There's going to be the Berserker Call. It's going to miss. That's a big deal. Blade Mail going off as well. They're not going to focus PhD. He's in some trouble right now. There's the Shiva's Guard. Dream Coil as well. This is going to be so tough for them to get into this. Another buyback coming from the Axe right now. Big Gun's going to take care of the Kotal just fine. Acquiesce trying to get at least 1 kill. Templar Assassin getting 2 kills, a double kill there. Nonsense going to go down as well, and this is going to be the end of it. And man, V3, they were looking so great. They were the comeback kids, but it just didn't, it couldn't happen. And just too much of a lead for Sven and Babas from +14. And man, that was a great game. I gotta give it to both of these teams. Really, 56-minute long game, the first game of the night, and it was a great one. So,
yeah, fantastic game, and perhaps it shouldn't have gone as long as it did because there was a huge lead on the back of Baba, but V3 played very well to get back into it. And the problem throughout the game was just kind of overstaying on gang attempts. They just linger a little bit too long and then end up being their downfall in the end. And as such, Baba will move on. V3 are out of it this week. I'm not sure if we're doing the dual bracket still.
I don't know. I have no idea what the hell's going on in terms of lower bracket. Somebody in chat, give me an idea of what is actually happening this week. Somebody please tell me. In the meantime, once again, I am Maut. With me tonight is NYJohn. You can find him, I believe it's at twitch.tv/NYJohnTV. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Do you have a Twitter account too?
Yep, at NYJohnTV.
Please follow him. He's a really great caster. Once again, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be right back with our next game in just a minute.